Yeah, we are the Village Storytelling Centre, and as Sam said, we think that stories have a really powerful role to play in supporting us to have better conversations. Um, I also think they've got a great role to play as a tool of intervention when you are engaging with a powerful story. Um, if you're having a cup of tea in your imagination with the Queen of the Fairies and the Troll King, it's very hard to be thinking about your emails at the same time. When you're hearing a story that you're engaged with, your headspace is repositioned momentarily. And that has physical effects on us. Our heart rate drops, the serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin levels can rise, and our adrenaline levels drop. So neurologically, this is doing good stuff for us, and that can help us move into a space in which we can have better conversations and maybe work through things in a slightly calmer and more positive outlooking way. Um, so what am I talking about? Yes, we ran 4 sessions online, myself and my colleague Dan. These sessions were for people with a dementia diagnosis, for unpaid carers, and professionals and volunteers. We also ran a training session for professionals and volunteers to share our techniques. In the sessions, as Sam mentioned, we created fictional characters together. And by doing that, we allow people to impose their experiences and their expertise into this character to give it some colour, but we do so in a safe way in which they can regulate what they share with us. It's the difference between, say, asking someone to share the most challenging things they're facing at that point, or saying, what challenges could this character be facing? It's a much safer and gentler way. But as one of our participants said, I'd like to see storytelling incorporated into our sessions. The session has shown me how a story cuts through in a way that facts sometimes don't. So even though with stories we can add that layer of fictional safety, it can get onto some really deep and broad and open looking questions. So it's not a less direct mode of communication. I think if you told me a year ago that we'd be moving all of our practice online, I wouldn't have believed you, and I probably wouldn't have been happy, because we have a sense in the storytelling scene that it has to happen eye to eye and heart to heart. It has to be face to face, really. And while that is true, there's certainly a lot of benefits, and there are some silver linings to working online. And I think we're starting to find them. We're starting to realise that you can deeply connect through a screen, and also that we can have a broader approach. We can talk to people and have experiences from much further afield online. So there are some benefits. But I have to say, I'd never heard of blue light glasses, which is what these are, as I'm suffering from quite bad headaches from the online screen time. So apologies as well if I'm sounding a bit garbled, but these seem to be helping. One of the real benefits of working online is that we're able to record the sessions, which means that I can go back and look through the sessions and capture the subtle comments and the little reactions that I might have missed in the rush of facilitating the session itself. And it means that we can gather quotes. And these are the most valuable thing, I think, that can come out of these sessions, because it really is directly the people experiencing these things are able to say what they think. In the training session that we ran in Edinburgh, one of the carers, she said this, and this is the kind of thing I wouldn't have had time to write down in my notebook or remember word for word. And I think it really summarises how powerful stories can be when we're thinking of them in the context of dementia care. I worked with one lady who had lost her false teeth. She came in the next day in full-on tears, saying that 2 little animals had came in and they had stole her teeth away from her, and she was so upset that her home had been violated. The truth is, 2 little animals wouldn't have came in and stole her teeth. But what had happened is that she had misplaced her teeth. She had had carers that weren't fixed, that didn't really have time to chat to her. They were in and out of her home. And so when you build that together, the theme of what she was feeling, she was so upset that her home had been violated. It didn't feel like her home anymore. She didn't have her teeth. She didn't feel herself. The theme and the emotion behind the story was real, but the story itself wasn't real. But it's so worthwhile her telling us that. You boil it down. Your home is not your own. You have misplaced things. You have strangers in your space. You don't feel comfortable. That's what was important, even if the truth of what happened didn't happen that way. And I think in that quote, we can really see the importance of storytelling in this context and making sure that we see the truth underneath the narrative and underneath the fiction. There's a lot there. So one of the other approaches, because we realised, of course, that online can be a real barrier for many people, is that we decided to offer one-to-one phone sessions. And this was for the first time in the Fife region. And these were really powerful and, for me, very emotional sessions, to be honest, because they're so intimate. There's no face-to-face, so we just hear each other's voices. And in one of the sessions, I was sitting on my bed and the participant was sitting on their bed. And I have to say that was a first. I've never run a session from bed to bed, but it was very precious. And we really understood in a very deep way the importance of having sacred, special, intimate spaces where we can share without judgment, where we can talk and be heard. Especially for unpaid carers, that support seemed crucial. So I'm so glad we've added in that other element in Fife. One of the things that I've been doing is asking people to share what care means to them, even if it's just in the moment, just a momentary response to the question. I did this in Edinburgh and Lothians, and the list that came out felt really powerful. So I thought, why stop? Let's keep asking people what care means. And maybe by the end of these sessions in the summer, we'll have a very broad picture of what care means in dementia contexts to the people of Scotland. So I just want to share that list with you now. Care is close friends. It comes from people you don't expect. It's nature. Having fun and being comfortable enough to be silly. Care is a big word, big advice, or little whispers in your ear. It means the world. It's human touch, seeing beyond, encouragement, connection, being seen for who you are, not being tarred with someone else's brush. Care is empathy, shared experience, momentary and consistent. It's acceptance, being valued, laugh, smile, joy. Care is teamwork, interaction based on strengths, touch, trust. Care is within you. It's a behaviour. It's not so much taught as nurtured. Care is relationships, it's connection. To care is to empower. It's realism, teamwork, your intuition, your energy, your generosity, your advocacy, your time. Care is draining. It's demanding. It can be demoralising. It can be exhausting. Care is not always rewarding. It can be frustrating. It can take you to the very last of your patients. If I speak from what's in my heart right now, care is doom and gloom. It can be hard to care when you are empty. There is nothing more of me that I can give right now. There doesn't seem time to care for myself. Processing time. We may need more of that. Care is good. Do you know what? It's good. Care is, if you don't believe me, I'll believe for you until you do. Care is our privilege. Care is key. Care is brave. Care is felt. Carers are who we are. It's allies. It's a network. Care is a community. So with that, I think it's definitely time we get on to the priorities. And please bear with me while I share my screen. So the first priority, which we felt came out of our discussions in the Fife area, is priority 1. We would like to see opportunities and choices to meaningfully engage and contribute to our communities, to work and have fun. The variety of what life has to offer feels dramatically reduced. We have expertise and experience we could be offering. Why can't I be involved in my own risk assessments? I've done it all my life. Being treated with kid gloves. Yes, there is nothing worse, nothing that makes you feel smaller. Priority 2. We need a clear pathway to care. People with dementia and unpaid carers do not want to feel passed around or unlistened to. We would like to see better and clearer access to information and services that recognise us as individuals and that better support and empower us. Are we the forgotten people? How do we move on? There we are. Priority 3. We'd like the importance of peer support to be acknowledged and supported, with spaces where people can share experience, companionship, advice, tears, laughs, and truly be useful as crucial support to one another. We need to find ways of taking away the loneliness and connect with people, so you realise that there are others out there who are going through it. He misses the men's shed, the pool, and the darts. Priority 4. With ongoing restrictions, people are facing continued social isolation and struggling with the decline in their skills and mental health. We need a variety of options available to us to remain connected with peers and those in our communities. The loss of purpose is critical. We need to get out socialising because people are losing their social skills. Priority 5. We want diagnosis to be delivered in a supportive way. The lack of empathy in this moment can be a major factor in how we are able to move forward. We need better access to information and support following diagnosis. The way he was given the results was very blasé. When he received his diagnosis, it felt like the world had come to an end. Her life had completely changed since her husband's diagnosis, and she felt like a grounded plane. And finally, priority 6. Carers are living with dementia too. We would like to see more emphasis on the support and services needed to better enable and empower unpaid carers. It's okay. Whatever you're feeling, whether you're angry or sad, it's fine. It's quite normal. How you are and how you feel is important. And finally, 24/7 is taking its toll on me. So thank you so much for listening to these priorities and a bit of the context of the storytelling sessions.